welcome to Adam's Mailbag. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham. I've been meaning to record this type of show for a while, but the Thursday off day, I think, provided an excellent opportunity. So I'll get into your feedback, as well as some of what we can expect in the weeks and months ahead, and a couple specific requests I have for members of the audience. Alright, that said, let's get into your comments. And we'll start off kind of going in order of show. Have this comment from Lanny regarding episode 004. This one had two episodes of the Columbia Workshop that were very strongly anti-war. Lanny writes, "Thank you for sharing these broadcasts. Bury the Dead is a sobering reminder of the ultimate cost of war, and ought to be played any time we are tempted to consider armed conflict as a solution to our problems. And whether or not the actual events described in 9 Prisoners happened or not, war itself is an atrocity and often brings out the worst in human nature. Who can ever forget may lie. Thanks for sharing. Grace and peace, brother." Well, thank you so much, Lanny. Joel had a comment in general regarding the music on the show. He wrote, "I enjoy your podcast, but must register my distaste for the theme music you chose for the war. It sounds like a grade B Cowboys and Indians movie from the 1950s. Please consider changing it." Joel. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate the feedback, Joel, and I'll listen to what other listeners have to say regarding our theme music. When I selected that theme music for the war, I didn't quite view it that way. To me, it sounds like a kind of stirring march with a bit of a military beat to it. And I think the title Heroic says it all. That said, I've always, particularly on issues of theme music, things of that, willing to consider alternatives. And so I will definitely take into account what fans have to say, both yay and nay on the theme music. Joel goes on, and he has a specific comment regarding episode 007, America Looks Abroad. "I've listened to recordings of the war years for quite some time. Hearing the description of the fall of France and the inexorable envelopment of Europe by the Nazis is chilling. Though Soviet domination after the war was a terrible thing, I doubt that it could compare with the nightmare that was living in a Nazi world. One appreciates the role of Britain as the sole democracy left to fight this truly evil empire, and the heroic stand they took until America joined the fight. I hope that your podcast reaches many young listeners who need to know and understand these events as they shape the world we have today." Well, thanks so much, Joel. And I hope that this podcast will remain as an educational service for people for years to come. And I appreciate your listening in and your comments. Then a comment regarding episode 001 or 017 from the Treasury Hour. Renee says, "Great Noel Coward songs. I'd never heard these before. Thanks for posting these shows." Well, thanks so much, Renee. It was a kind of surprising thing to find. I actually found it in the archive.org Old Time Radio Researchers Singles and Doubles collection. And it was definitely a gem, even if it was only half the program. Again, thank you for your comments. And I want to thank Robin, who sent along supportive comments, and everyone else who's left comments, both on the occasional technical errors caused by my errors. And also I want to thank Andrew Rhines, who's provided some great support on many of the programs we've heard here. It really, everything that's done, appreciate that lightening of the load. All right, well, what is up ahead for the war? December is going to be a busy month. We're 2 days away from the commemoration of Pearl Harbor. And then we'll take a look at the immediate reaction to the war from a variety of sources. And soon after that, we'll be playing some wartime Christmas shows. from December 16th through the 25th. And we'll have 11 shows over those 10 days. Going into the new year, we're looking at probably more regular rhythm. I expect we'll have Monday through Friday, generally 2 true stories from the war, along with 1 fictional anti-war adventure, a comedy show, and either news, educational, or propaganda programming. And then we'll be doing Saturday and Sunday really focusing on music, both on programs that were made primarily for civilians and those that were made for American service personnel overseas. If you're a regular listener to World War II programming and are very proficient in it, I'd love to hear your suggestions, particularly in the areas of specific comedy and dramatic programming. Of course, here I'm really looking for specific episodes. For example, on The Great Gildersleeve or Fibber McGee and Molly, which are famous for having a lot of patriotic shows. One that you find particularly stirring or touching or funny, love to hear from you. I'm also looking for radio programs that tell the story of contribution of peoples from a wide variety of different backgrounds and situations. For example, if you're aware of a radio program that told of the service of Japanese Americans for the United States during World War II, that'd be something I would want to take a listen to. Because I really want to take as broad a look at the war over radio as I can. And also any good propaganda programs or episodes. Just listen to You Can't Do Business with Hitler, and we'll be listening to Dear Adolf, The Pacific Story, This Is War, We Came This Way, This Is Our Enemy. If you're aware of any that we're overlooking, please feel free to email me, and that's at box13@greatdetectives.net. One thing I won't need suggestions for is Christmas programming. That's all programmed out. We're set for the rest of 2013, but definitely as we come into planning in 2014, your suggestions on programming are definitely welcome. Well, I want to thank everyone so much for listening, and we will do this again. I think I'll probably do this as opposed to how I do it on the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio, just because this works better as a flow. If you have a comment, send it to me, box13@greatdetectives.net. But from Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.